On the News Hour tonight, does the logic of Kejriwal's internal Lokpal go against everything he said last year about the constitution of a Lokpal?
My first question is to Shazia Elmi tonight. Shazia, you see, last year, we clearly remember in the year before that, whenever this talk was going on about a Lokpal, you know, Arvind Kejriwal said it's rubbish. If you have the government appoint people to investigate the government in whatever form, he said that is the clearest kind of conflict of interest. In a million occasions, he said that. I cannot understand, irrespective of the credibility of the individuals appointed today, these three judges who we have great regard for, how can Arvind Kejriwal set up a process to investigate his own people who, by the way, he has already given a clean chit to?
Arnab, it's clear that you haven't understood a word, and I must debunk all your theories here. It's hilarious. Whereas Arvind said that this Lokpal, because of this Lokpal, there shouldn't be another Lokpal, the Lokpal that we're fighting for, the Jan Lokpal. I don't understand the correlation.
No, you have not understood the question. You have not understood the question. Let me repeat the question. No, you have not understood the question. Shazia, you have not understood the question, Baba.
Fantastic twist to the story.
Shazia, you must understand the question.
I'm answering that. If you give me a chance.
No, just understand the question.
This is such a fantastic twist you've given to the story. In fact, am so impressed by my own team because they're setting high standards of probity. And you kept saying, and I want to mention this to you, charges have been slammed. Have any of these people been charge sheeted? From day one, we've been saying, please have an investigation against them. Please go and have an investigation against any of them. But you want to keep making charges, but you don't want to press charges. And when you're saying you don't want to do it, you want to make wild allegations, we'll do it ourselves. I mean, isn't it amazing? You should applaud this team's effort to set the bar of such high probity and propriety.
Right.
We should learn from this team.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
So it's hilarious. Jan Lokpal and the demand for it stays. And had Jan Lokpal or the Lokpal that we wanted a tough one, none of this would have happened.
Right. Now, Shazia. Now, Shazia.
Arnab, and I'm telling you, you're not getting this at all.
Shazia.
The only reason why internal probe is being talked about is because the charges against us, and we're saying we'll set it right.
Will you listen?
You go ahead and have them charge sheeted. They'll also go to courts of law.
Will you listen? May I request
you? So what's wrong in having different?
Shazia, will you listen, please? Will you please listen? My question to you is...
I've listened enough. I was listening to your package.
You see, the thing is, Shazia, you must listen on both occasions. One occasion when somebody says that you are right. One situation when somebody says you are wrong. And there is also a third situation where somebody asks you a question on whether you are right or wrong. Now the question here is this. This term internal Lokpal is simply an epithet. It's a phrase. Please don't think I'm foolish enough to think that it's a substitute for the Lokpal. Certainly it's not. I was not even asking you that question, but since you chose to say everything that you did, it's okay. My question was this. My question was about the process. Last year, Arvind Kejriwal said that when it comes to any inquiry, and he said Lokpal, he said the government cannot determine the constitution of members of the Lokpal because there will be a clear conflict of interest. Similarly, if there's a conflict of interest there, then there will be a conflict of interest here. That is the simple question. It is only about the process. Let me now get in Subramanian Swamy. I'll come back to you. Subramanian Swamy, what do you make of the process?
What process? This is ridiculous that today Mr. Kejriwal says he didn't know Damania had land deals. You didn't do any background check and you came to the national media and made all these announcements. I mean, this is utterly juvenile. I can't believe that you are going to vote a political party and you don't even know who your people are. And you can't say that I cannot know because it was in the papers on 7th of October that Damania's father-in-law was a vice president of Shahid Balwa's company. Her husband is being investigated by SEBI to see whether he did fraud with the stock market. All this he didn't know, and he puts her up in the media to denounce Mr. Gadkari on what? Mr. Gadkari also wrote a letter and asked for land, and the Maharashtra government gave him. And that's the Damania's defense today. So why should I bother whether they are going to set up a committee or not a committee? They are thoroughly discredited in the people's court. What is the use of a Jan Lokpal bill or a shadow Jan Lokpal bill just now?
Mahesh Jetmalani, I want to get in everyone in and then I'll get a rebut, on this. I'm coming to you, Mayank, as well. Mahesh Jetmalani, your thoughts on the setting up of an internal Lokpal. What they call an internal Lokpal constitute 3 people to investigate themselves. Your thoughts on that, please. And then we'll go into the merits or demerits of these charges against these individual members. Yes.
Well, I'm not going to be dismissive like Dr. Swamy is about Arvind Kejriwal and the IAC. I think that they have substantial support amongst the common man. And I think anybody who ignores them and treats them that dismissively does so only at his own peril. Now, I don't know the exact nature of the allegations. Dr. Swamy has come out with some new ones today about Mrs. Damania's husband and so on and so forth. I mean, these are all personal allegations.
It's in the newspapers. You don't read newspapers.
I don't read those kind of newspapers, those trashy newspapers. Which newspaper, I don't know which you're talking about, Dr. Swamy. But anyway,
what, a Business Standard is not an ordinary newspaper. What do you read, Dubai Times or what?
I know, I don't read the Dubai Times, no, but I read the Times. I read the Times of India. You must be reading the Dubai Times. But that apart, I don't think we have to get to...
Well, no, I read the Business Standard.
Over here.
And you are supposed to be a lawyer, supposed to know these things.
But I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to know something. I don't read every newspaper. I don't have the time like you do. I mean, I respect you for what you do. And if you had that kind of time, but unfortunately, I have not read the
Business Standard. Of course I do. If I am going to do a job, I'm going to do it thoroughly, not just flit around.
Well, so far, Dr. Swamy, notwithstanding your efforts, it hasn't been a very thorough job in the Supreme Court. But I'm not going to say anything on that. All I'm going to say is, I'm going to focus on the question.
Who cares about your opinion on that?
Okay, gentlemen.
Exactly. Nor do I care about. I'm now talking about Arvind Kejriwal and his counter mechanism. His counter mechanism is not an alternative to any other statutory authority that might inquire into any allegations of wrongdoing by him. It is not. All he says is, let them carry on and do their job. But as far as I'm concerned, since I take these allegations seriously,
yes. So
I am setting up my own mechanism.
Yes.
And this mechanism is not an alternative to any other mechanism. And this mechanism...
So tomorrow, Mahesh Jetmalani... Mr. Jetmalani, I have a counter question to you. Tomorrow if Nitin Gadkari says... tomorrow if Nitin Gadkari says that to investigate the charges against Nitin Gadkari, I will set up a committee. It will be headed by Ravi Shankar Prasad. And Ravi Shankar Prasad in turn will say that I will then institute 3 judges, retired judges of my choice. But the BJP will decide who these judges will be. They'll be judges of integrity, but they will be... The BJP decides who these judges will be. One second.
Are you casting aspersions on these judges?
No, 1 second. Please, Shazia, don't try and put words in my mouth. The question here is this. The question is...
objectively...
Mr. Jetmalani, I just want to... Well, take 1 second.
But let me answer your question.
Yeah, sure.
You asked a long question. Now let me give you a short answer.
Yeah, sure.
I have full faith, I'm speaking personally, that you objectively don't go in the abstract, you look at the tribunal setup. I have full faith in this tribunal. They are eminent judges, retired judges, all 3 of them have impeccable credentials. And I know that they will arrive at the truth, and if any of these IAC
so in the future, in the future, therefore, Mr. Jetmalani, I suggest that you would say, I only go back by precedent. I go to June 2011, where the primary disagreement with the government draft on Lokpal was the primacy of the government in the selection process. They contended at that point of time that the appointment of the Lokpal would be under direct or indirect government control, though they would be the ones against whom the ombudsman would be conducting investigations at some stage. Tell me and tell the people of this country tonight, Mr. Jetmalani, in your fair opinion, why would that same logic not apply here?
Because it's illogical, and I'll tell you why. You made a completely inapposite analogy. the IAC is not saying that the existing mechanisms which you have to investigate the wrongdoing, we are supposed to be indulging it, whether it's the police or the collector of stamps. Please let them go ahead and investigate all these allegations. In addition to that, pending those inquiries, if they ever take place, those vested, and that's the real problem. There is a stupor, there is an absolute paralysis of every authority in this country to perform their duties. They are saying in the absence of that, we are still willing to have a panel of eminent. We are not saying it's the ultimate answer. Ideally, there should be a Lokpal. But in the absence of some such institution which wants to investigate these charges, in this case against ourselves, we are appointing these three eminent people. You have any problem with it? Say Justice Marla Pale, say Justice Jaspal Singh and Justice A.P. Shah are not men of quality.
Certainly, Mr. Jethmalani, the question is the process. You heard me thrice, but you choose not to hear me tonight for some strange reason. Though I am completely audible to you, my question is about the process, not about the individual.
I have answered both the process. The point is you choose to refuse.
Mr. Jethmalani.
I said the process is not.
Mr.
Goswami.
Mr. Jethmalani.
The process I'm suggesting, Mr. Goswami, the process I'm suggesting is not an alternative to the existing process.
Certainly. Then we'll come to that part later. Why the existing process not an alternative, and what faith India against corruption have in the judicial system of the country, which Prashant Bhushan and Subramanian Swamy displayed great faith in when they fought the government on 2G and won in the Supreme Court of this country. I will come to that in just some time. Now let us go, ladies and gentlemen, to some of the most substantive issues which have been raised here. May I begin, please? Mayank Gandhi. Gentlemen, I'm not a lawyer, but I'll ask you. Mayank Gandhi, and do not take this otherwise.
Go ahead.
You are today a politician, and therefore you will be asked the questions with the same sincerity that I would ask any politician.
Sure.
Not that I ask some predictable questions to politicians. The charge against you is that you had an NGO. You were part of an NGO. Is it true that you were part of an NGO, and that NGO had some relationship with a real estate company? Is it true or not? First, because that prima facie itself is a bit damaging.
No, I can't see the damage if you are a secretary in an NGO which talks about redevelopment of the entire city and which is proposed or by a real estate company. Absolutely.
Now, are there two NGOs? One is called Remaking of Mumbai Federation, ROMF. And there is something else called Remaking of Mumbai Housing Infrastructure and Finance Limited.
It's not an NGO.
That's not an NGO. No. That's a commercial entity.
Absolutely.
Are both under the same Lok group?
I know
real estate
where
group?
You are leading.
No, I am not leading. I am.
Fair enough.
I am simply asking some questions here today.
Because it's such an obvious pull-on. I will answer you each and everything.
Why do you say it's a pull-on?
I'll tell you.
No, it was. Just tell me.
No, you need to understand the context. Please, let's understand. There are more than 25,000 old buildings in Mumbai, some of which have collapsed and more than 750 people have died. So when we had this huge downpour of rain and 4 buildings fell and 100 people died, we decided that we need to step in. So we said that the way Mumbai is developing, building by building, redevelopment is not a good idea. You need to develop it on a cluster basis. So we suggested to the government that the entire city needs to be planned holistically in an integrated fashion and various clusters need to be made to do that. So at that time, this was the NGO which suggested that.
Then where did the commercial entity come in?
Let me just finish. It's just going to take me 2 more minutes. So when we went to the government, they changed the housing policy. They added cluster development as a model. But then they told us, why don't you take one model and show us the efficacy of this entire thing?
And they wanted to redevelop this land.
Fair enough.
A 30-acre land in Mumbai?
No. Wait. I'm going to explain that to you.
Because we'll have to come quickly on that.
Yeah, we will. Yes. But you need to understand the reality, because you are today making certain outstanding claims on some 6,000 crore and development
I
and money.
I haven't even mentioned 6,000 crore.
No, you did it in your package.
No, so far
you did it in your package. So I'm going to talk to you. So what we did is we went to the government. We told them this needs to be planned. They liked the idea. They said, can you take a small piece and show us a development model?
What is the size of the small piece?
30-acre piece.
Is 30 acres in Mumbai a lot of land?
In a cluster development, 30 acres is
How much would 30 acres in Mumbai be worth approximately?
I don't know what it is worth.
Quite a few 100 crores.
So what? So what were we talking? We were saying we are going to plan that area.
Okay.
So what's wrong in planning?
Plan it in what sense? Like build.
No, we were
houses?
we were going to plan the redevelopment of that area. You understand what redevelopment? It means that these buildings.
And a certain down payment was given, because according to a sale agreement I have, the certain down payment of 5 crore rupees was given.
No, then you need to. So that's why you need to understand. You are making stray comments. So when we went to the government, they told us to take. So we started doing the data mining.
Right.
We got all the details of this 30 acre, how many people living there, what age, what are their businesses. Once we got that data, and we did not have the wherewithals to develop it.
You gave it to a...
So some developer came and said, we would like to develop it.
But if you did not have the... One second, please.
No,
if you did not have...
With one line.
Okay.
So we said that this data we have got...
Developer?
They took that data...
Who is the developer?
Unity.
Who is the developer?
Unity developers. So what I am saying is, they took the data from us. There is not a single square inch of land. Nothing is sold. Nothing is bought. No project is there. I don't know where the corruption is. What is the gadbad? There is nothing. It is just an idea for which we created
data. What was the NGO doing? It was doing the groundwork.
No, the NGO worked for redevelopment of Mumbai in a certain way.
And is it normal? See, there are 3 stages here, Mr. Mayank.
Sure.
Please understand. You see, it must ask. Don't get upset, because we must ask the same questions. And India against corruption. There's a point I'm making tonight and this point I make to Shazia also, that please do not get upset if you are being asked the questions in the same manner that we ask any politician. You're a political
party. We are setting up an internal Lokpal to look at our allegations. Where is the
question here? Is this, that is it normal in your view for NGOs to work together with real estate companies, which in turn give away the big plots, so somebody can then say tomorrow, Mr. Gandhi, that the NGO does the groundwork, gets the consent from tenants and landlords, commercial arm of the group comes in, lands the development project, and then the redevelopment project is sold to a third party for a commercial gain?
Factually incorrect.
No, question. I have not even said anything. I'm asking you a question.
The NGO did not get the consents. Nothing was sold to anybody. Not a single square inch of land was sold.
Any grey area here?
There is no grey area. For you
Any need for explanation in your view?
Absolutely. We will explain it to the internal Lokpal. And I've got all the papers. We have put it on the public domain for so many months it has been put up.
Will you take the points of view of some of my other panelists tonight?
Absolutely. Anyone.
I would like to go to Jitendra Awad next. Jitendra Awad, what do you make of this, the fairly straightforward explanation being given by Mayank Gandhi? What really is the charge here? I mean, I'm not making it.
I don't know.
So he's asking you tonight, what is the charge?
What is the charge?
Shall I speak now?
Yeah, please, Jitendra Awad, go ahead.
I am today very happy that the country comes to know that NGO is also doing business.
NGOs also?
The other night, we do a business, I'm not talking about anybody else, but if Jitendra Awad does business, then it's objectionable, because he can't earn profits. He doesn't need money for his livelihood. Mayank Gandhi needs. It's a joke. I think, Arnab, we are wasting time on all these humorous stories which do the round with the whole day. You talk of a simple process by appointing, you take objections on the whole process by, if the government wants to appoint somebody, and then the whole story comes to an end with Kejriwal appointing his own men. We are not talking of the credibility of the judges. Now, yesterday, YP Singh comes and makes an allegation on the national media. Does anybody know that the same YP Singh is contesting the case from 2006 in the Mumbai High Court? Now, what was the need for him to come in the national media and say the same thing for which he has gone to the court in 2006? Then if you have faith in the judges which you have appointed, the same YP Singh doesn't have the faith in the Mumbai High Court where the case is being discussed and it's on the board. Now, what are you doing? What are you leading to a nation towards? Chaos and confusion. And what is happening, Arnab, I'll be very honest with you. The people whom you are talking about, let it be Nitin Gadkari, let it be Sharad Pawar, let it be Mulayam Singh Yadav, they have wasted 40 years to come to a stature of public life, having gone from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and telling
Mr. Awad,
one minute.
Mr. Awad, on that, let me finish. Let's remain to the question.
Let me finish.
Quick your point to Mayank Gandhi.
Let me finish. But YP Singh or that Anjali Damania takes a press conference at 5 o'clock, and the next day morning they are Mahatma Gandhi of the nation. The same Anjali Damania's husband is involved in a SEBI scam. The same Anjali Damania has 30 acres land in Karchar, which we want to say.
First of all, there is no SEBI scam, Mr. Rawat.
First, I want to know what is the question to me.
No, first of all, before you
have some questions, please put the question.
Shazia, one minute.
Whatever he says is truth. Whatever Jitendra Awar says cannot be false. That is what has happened. Whatever they say is truth. How can we say they accept it?
No, what is...
Now they have to accept when we say it.
Get on specifics. Tell me what is it that you have an allegation against. Let's hear that. What is the allegation?
Anjali Damania had a land...
No, you have an allegation against me.
No, first Anjali Damania is joining us in 2 minutes. One minute, Jitendra Awad, before Anjali Damania comes in, he's asking you, when Anjali Damania comes in, you ask Anjali Damania. I am saying today Mayank Gandhi is here right now. I am asking you, in your view, from the line of questioning and what I presented to Mayank Gandhi, what is inappropriate? My question to him was that NGOs and real estate companies, do they normally work?
How can an NGO enter into a commercial venture?
It has not entered into any commercial venture.
How can an NGO enter into a commercial venture?
NGO has not entered into any commercial venture. You please look at the figures and data. Don't just say things for the sake of saying it. Look at the numbers, look at the figures, look at the data.
No, listen to me. Arnab, it's very simple. Why can't there be a case against him? Why don't
please go ahead.
File a case against Mayank Gandhi?
No.
Instead of making these allegations...
Wait a sec. Shazia, just wait a sec. Day before yesterday, Arvind Kejriwal...
And punish us severely. Have the most stringent of punishment for us. But also constitute a probe against...
You do the same thing for everybody whom we are alleging against. The court of law is open for you. Why do you want to make public allegations, baseless allegations? The court of law is open for you. Mr. Kejriwal can go to the whichever court he wants to go in the country. Against Mr. Gadkari, against Mr. Pawar, anybody he wants to.
Absolutely, but the courts are open to you.
So that is what we are saying.
One more.
When you allege, you want us to go to the court.
Why want you to go to court?
When you allege, Shazia, you want us to go to the court.
Why don't you go to court? Same logic. By way of the
so we are saying we are ready. But when we allege, when you allege, you appoint your own judges to go into the inquiry.
Let me interrupt.
If we tomorrow say that we will inquire about people, will you agree?
What, ladies and gentlemen, may I please come? 1 minute, calm down. 1 minute, my question.
Logical conclusion and go to court.
1 second. They are not going to court.
Why are you fighting shy of that?
They are not going to court, and you are also not going to court, because that question, Shazia, also can be put to you. None of you are going to court. Go to court. Subramanian Swamy goes to court.
Question that YP Singh went to the court and then he comes to the national media and takes a press conference. He went to the court.
You have an axe to grind against YP Singh.
What was the need for him to come to the national media?
No, tonight, I'm sorry, but
How can it be irrelevant? We are talking about baseless allegations and the fallout after it.
1 second. May I please humbly tell you, Mr. Jitendra Awad, that the definition of baseless and not baseless has to be premised on a fact that if a union minister plays a part in a regulatory approach towards a project of thousands of crores in which ostensibly we don't know at what price the 20.8% shares were bought and at what price the 20.8% shares were gained, and whether or not that reflects, then please don't dismiss it as a useless charge. It is certainly something which merits investigation.
Here is the point where YP Singh misled the nation.
Don't dismiss it. I
am trying to clear it.
No, you have Mr. Jitendra Awad.
The shares were purchased in 2002 and sold out in 2003 when Lavasa was not in existence.
Okay, I also want to say tonight that Siddharth Nath Singh of the BJP wants to say something to Mayank Gandhi tonight. He wants to be connected live. He's watching the program. He has something to say to you. Okay, we are going to connect him live. He has something to say to you. I actually like it when people call in live with fresh information. Now he has something to say to you. Subramanian Swamy, what are we to do here? What are we to do here? Neither side goes to court. Is this self-appointed inquiry going to be good enough in the eyes of the people?
Well, see, the essential problem is that this Kejriwal and his team have introduced something which is very damaging for the fight against corruption. That's this hit and run approach. First they took up Vadra, then moved on to Mr. Salman Khurshid. Now they have moved down to the Gadkari, and now they of course moved down to themselves because there have been some charges against them. Now this kind of thing would completely disorient people, they would disappoint people. That is why I have from beginning been saying, take up an issue, go to the court. That's the only place where both sides are present and are forced to present an affidavit, evidence, and bring it to some conclusion. Now, we can't have a situation where these serious charges are made and then you leave it in the air and then go on to the next matter. That's where the real problem is arisen.
Mr. Jethmalani?
That's what the Team Kejriwal has to address itself, because that's where the erosion has taken place maximum, because they have not been able to produce a single result.
Mr. Jethmalani, your thoughts on that? What, Shazia, you want to come in? Okay, go ahead. What's after Mr. Jethmalani, please? Moot point is this: shadow boxing, hit and run, Mr. Jethmalani. The moot point is that lack of consistency. Yes.
Well, there are
2020.
There is a point to what Dr. Swamy says. There's a point to what Dr. Swamy says, and that is really, Arnav, that you can either take up one issue, but it's only a question of different of approach. What he's saying is, don't take on so many, but what can you do if there are so many scams? If there are so many scams rolling out day by day, why should you be dogged? Dr. Swamy is a dogged pursuer of the cause he champions. But maybe there are many, there are so many scams that you just want to expose them and leave it to others to take them to their logical conclusion. That's really a matter of approach. It's not a matter of, undermining the fight against corruption by the IAC. If they want to, and after all now, every time they did it, every time they raised an issue, they were told that come and join politics. So now in addition, they've taken up the challenge and they have
Mahesh Jethmalani, your party spokesperson Siddharth Nath Singh was watching tonight, and he says, I have something to say and something to reveal vis-a-vis Mr. Mayank Gandhi. Siddharth, are you there?
Yeah, thanks, Arnab. I didn't want to come in since Mr. Subramanian Swamiji and Jethmalani are there to talk about it. But I just wanted to bring a fact to you. I am a consulting engineer. That's my profession, apart from being in politics. I have a joint venture with one of the leading top 5 engineering firms in the world. And we have about 200 civil engineers with us. So our job is, apart from infrastructure, also on the buildings. I am involved in a couple of high-rises in doing structural and MEP buildings. So for us, it was important to get into this renovation of old buildings and all those things. So just wanted to bring a fact to you that when we tried to reach the government in Maharashtra, at my boys, when they went down for a meeting and to show our expertise, what we can do in renovations and restructuring the infrastructure for the buildings and all, we were definitely mentioned, and I do recall, we were mentioned about an NGO, and we were also asked, the people who will be doing the job is, sorry to say, but it's Mr. Mayank Gandhi's, relative. So I just want to bring to the perspective that this is the reality. So
his name is Lalit Gandhi.
IAC, if they are trying to be holier than the cow, it is not true. They want to play politics with the nation. Let's play fairly. But this cannot be the approach. That's all I wanted to say. And
just stay on, Siddharth. You have to. No, Siddharth, you have said something which is significant. Mayank Gandhi has a right to respond to you.
Arnab.
1 second, Mr. Awad. Let them settle it among themselves. Mr. Awad, 1 second. Let them discuss it among themselves.
I'll just name the person.
No, it's all right. We are not here into naming and defaming.
Of Lok Group.
No, whatever. That's all. My question here is...
the country should know who
One second. This is not about individuals here. And I must say here that what is being said here, I don't have any information on what is being said. It is the points of view of people who are expressing their views on the program. However, Siddharth Nath Singh says that he's a structural engineer, he has a company, and when he wanted to work in Mumbai, he was asked to contact a specific group which you have been associated with. I think you have a fair opportunity to rebut now. Go ahead. To Siddharth Nath Singh, and I hope you're there. Go ahead.
First of all, I don't think it's some big crime to be related to a real estate developer.
Certainly not.
More. He is no more. He was a great thinker and a great visionary.
Certainly not. Yes.
Having said that, we have not got the contract, we have not got anything, we are just somebody who came up with this idea. If somebody told Mr. Siddharthnath to contact my chairman who was alive at that time, I don't know how this whole thing comes, how am I guilty about that? What is wrong, what is the corruption, what is the whole thing? Has any contract been given, has any business been given, has a single square inch of, has any money transferred, has any tenant said, been cheated, has any landlord?
Isn't it strange that when he approaches the government, he says I approached the government, I am told to contract.
No, but at that time we had definitely given some good ideas to the government how Mumbai needs to be redeveloped on a holistic, integrated manner using cluster to save the lives of lakhs of people who are living in these old buildings. So it was something that we had really thought about. Wait a sec, it would have been wonderful for this country if this scheme had come through. Unfortunately, it has fallen through. But if this scheme, which is a wonderful scheme, today the Planning Commission has taken that, the next 5-year plan, they are talking about the remaking of Mumbai's plan. And I have talked to so many countries.
No,
they
but
are all
Siddharthnath Singh is not saying. Siddharthnath Singh, I want you to come back on this. Siddharthnath Singh is saying
corruption and what is wrong.
Siddharthnath Singh is saying I am contacting the government. They are telling me to contract a particular private party, which he says is not the appropriate and perhaps an unexpected strategy. And to that private party, you have links. That is so he's drawing that, connecting the dots there.
But what is the corruption? What is wrong? I mean,
Siddharthnath Singh, what is wrong?
What is wrong?
What is wrong? Mayank Gandhi says what is wrong in this?
What is wrong? What did we do wrong?
Arnab, I am just trying to bring certain facts. I am not raising any charges on Mr. Mayank Gandhi, his NGO and his relative company. But what I am trying to say is they should stop pretending they're holier than the cow. They are what they have, they come up with certain
Siddharth, I just want to tell you one thing.
I have an audio problem. I don't know if, what Mayank was saying, I was not able to understand because there is a disturbance. But all I'm trying to say is there is a link. If the charges have been leveled on Mayank Gandhi, there is a link between what they were doing as an NGO, raising the pitch, and then getting, his relative company getting involved. So all I'm trying to say
getting involved,
there is a
not
fact
getting the
contract. It needs to be investigated.
Okay, now I think I'll leave the matter there.
I just want to say one or two things which are very important. Siddharth,
I want to go to Anjali.
If we had to fight against corruption, we have to be extremely clean. So if there was anything against me, I would not take this step to fight against corruption. And the second part is that we are so open about it. We are bringing in new standards of probity. You have put an allegation against us. We get the best judges in the country to probe us.
Appointed by you.
So what? So you give me more. And I'm saying this. Wait a sec. Let me add to this. This is not an alternative to the government putting an investigation.
Yeah, so he's saying
let the government also put an investigation against me.
It's all right. He's saying let the government also investigate. Let it be.
It is not either or.
Do both. Okay, fine. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now here's one thing. It's fair enough. Now, Mr. Singh, I thank you for calling me calling on the show tonight. Next time, perhaps we'll get both of you together. But then this is not a court of law. Question to Anjali Damania tonight is this. Anjali Damania, thank you for coming. First of all, and as I said to Mayank Gandhi, you're not in the dock, but you must answer some questions. And I'm sure that's why you had a press conference today as well.
Sure.
Now it is being said that you bought 7 acres of land. Are you a farmer, A, to purchase this land? B, the land holding changed, it became non-agricultural. You then sold the land. I know you bought the land at a certain price. What did you sell the land at? Did you make a fair amount of profit? Would you please tell me clearly on Newshour tonight how much percentage profit you made, if you made any?
Sure.
And B, whether it was appropriate for you not as a farmer to get the land as agricultural land, to sell it after it becomes non-agricultural. There are some ifs and buts that need to be connected here. And then we'll get the others.
Let me start by saying there has been a great story created about me this morning. And I really don't understand what the story is all about. If it is saying that I have done a conversion or done a change of use of the land, was there anything illegal about it? Have I flouted norms? Have I not taken permissions? Have I done anything illegal in that? Second thing what I would want to tell you is, have I deprived anybody? Have I deprived the farmers? Have they sold it to me for cheap? Is what the allegation on me is. I have bought it at market rate. Do you think the farmers were related to me to sell it to me for cheap? Why would they do it? I mean, if they don't know me, if they are strangers, they will sell it at a market price. I have bought it at a market price. Now let me tell you the main thing which everybody is saying.
What rate did you sell the plots?
70. No, I have bought it at 75,000
What rate did you sell the plots?
The current market price in 2006.
No, but did you tell the farmers when you bought the land? Did you tell the farmers? Anjali, one simple question is this. Please tell me. Some of the farmers say that you told them that the land will be used for agricultural purposes.
Do you think whenever we buy a land, we have to tell somebody anything for what?
So the farmer is lying here? There is a particular farmer who has been quoted.
Mr. Sonawade who has been quoted there. Yes. Where was he for the last 6 years and how come he got up today?
But then you see the same questions can be asked by Mr. Gadkari in the context of another piece of land.
The point here is, have I taken any unsecured loans from anybody? Have I deprived anybody of any? Have I got it for cheap? Have I leased it? Have I created an NGO?
What price did you sell it at? What price did you sell it at?
No, if I have done, the price which I have sold at will be absolutely clear and in front of the ombudsman.
Why doesn't IAC reveal what price it was sold at?
No, I am ready to give the entire Excel sheet. I am ready to show my income tax papers. I am ready to show what tax I have paid on it. Because apart from buying...
Are you a farmer?
No, that's exactly what I wanted to tell you before this. I have bought my land absolutely legally.
As a farmer?
As a farmer. Forget that, my farm.
But are you a farmer? You're a doctor.
My ancestors for the last 200 years have been farmers in this very Raigad.
But you're a doctor.
Correct.
You're a doctor.
Correct. But you know, the policy...
Be a doctor?
No.
I'm asking you. Can it be said that my ancestors were farmers and hence I'm technically a farmer?
See, first of all, let me correct. I'm a pathologist by profession. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a practicing doctor. I have a diagnostic center. Secondly, let me tell you that I have done this land purchase under the horticulture policy of the government, and what has been alleged on me is not that I'm not a farmer. What they have said is the land which I had bought on day one was an uncultivable land. That is what is mentioned in the notice, Arnab, and that is
Gadkari also says it was uncultivable barren land.
No, that is what I'm saying.
In Nagpur.
No, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Finding similarities
but my point is not that. What I'm trying to say here is, if it was an uncultivable land, if I've given clear-cut reports of the soil that from RCF saying
Anjali,
that it was a fully cultivable
how different
land.
are the charges that have been leveled, that you have leveled against Gadkari?
See,
please remember one second.
Yeah.
You say that the farmers could have tilled the land that was instead given to the Purti Sanstha of Gadkari. Similarly, the land that you acquired to could have been in the possession of farmers, but you sold it. You sold it to a private developer.
I did not sell it to any private developer.
Who did you sell it to?
That is where you stand corrected.
Did you sell it as agricultural land?
I have changed the use on only 5.5 acres of the 59-acre property that I own in Karzat. Only 5.5 acre. I have done the development myself. The roads were done, the gardens were done. There was huge expenditure there, and after that they were sold to private plot owners who are in the possession of that plot today. It was nothing. There was
what the farmers are saying is not correct.
Absolutely not correct.
The farmers are lying.
And you tell me, how could the farmers, unless they are instigated, come up after 6 years?
So the farmers are lying.
Forget that. Arnab, one more thing I would want to tell you is that I had written this clearly to the entire print and the entire electronic media way back in April. After that, I have put up my blog and I have explained to the last word. Everything has been explained. I don't understand why these things are coming.
My question tonight is...
Gadkari.
Yeah, my question is, of course, that question of timing is when you expose Gadkari, questions are being asked.
They are going to threaten us, they are going to scare us, they are going to do, but we will not be cowed down. We will not be cowed down. We will keep on fighting for what is right. For my nation, I will keep on fighting. Let them do whatever they want. I challenge them.
1 second, Mr. Awad. Mr. Awad, type. Yes, okay, go ahead. Will you take the counter question?
We have alleged against Damania before she. We have alleged this against Mrs. Damania before she alleged anything against Gadkari. I have alleged this before she took the name of Gadkari on NDTV.
Pawar and Tatkare
Mr. Awad, you need to look back at your dates. You need to look back at your videos. I was a non-existent person on media before Ajit Pawar's resignation. I was nowhere in the media. Mr. Awad, you need to check the videos. Check back the dates. When I have
Mr. Awad, you are worried. You are worried when we took on Mr. Tatkare and Mr. Gadkari, Mr. Pawar.
And then she pounced on Gadkari.
When did I pounce? When did I come into the media?
It is not about Gadkari. It is about Mr. Tatkare, about the NCP, about the 70,000 irrigation scam that you have done to this country and to this state. Don't run away from this truth.
She went to everybody.
Don't run away from the truth. Your corruption is being exposed, so you are attacking us. Go ahead and attack us. We will continue fighting you.
Wanted to shift the location.
This country is too great. We will fight for this nation. Mr. Awad, you can do whatever you want.
We are not going to bow down to any pressure.
Absolutely.
You pressure us the way you want. We are not going to bow down to your pressure, Mr. Awad.
We are clear in our
Mr. Awad,
you have done enough corruption in this country. We will expose all of you.
Our integrity.
1 second.
We will expose each of the corrupt here in this country.
I think we should also let Shazia in at this point. Yes, Shazia, you want to say something to Mr. Awad? Go on. Go on, please. And actually,
I think let some sanity prevail here.
Yeah.
Now my question is, if indeed Mr. Awad feels that Anjali is in the wrong, let him press charges.
Absolutely.
Also, I would like to ask all the panelists, what is wrong in having an independent probe against Gadkari, against Robert Vadra, against Salman Khurshid, against whom there's already been one probe which alleges and which shows the fake affidavit and all of that, and also against Anjali Damania and others. What is wrong with that? And have the same standards, have any three judges decide on that. Let it not be judged by the CBI, which could be, which one can allege can work to the behest of the government. So if you're open to that, why isn't Mr. Gadkari open to an independent probe, or Mr. Sharad Pawar?
I want to go back at this point to Subramanian Swamy, please, because I want to go back to the broader perspective here tonight. The question, and I want to make it clear here, is not about, and you see, corruption is corruption, allegation is allegation. I'm not saying anyone's indulged in corruption. Mayank and Anjali, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I must also tell you, it is my job to ask the same questions to everyone.
Just do your
IAC,
homework.
Congress or BJP. Now, 1 second, please.
Sure.
The question here is this, please. The question is that it is not a question, is it, whether the allegation is of 70,000 crore. And Mr. Jitendra Awad, please do not try and undermine the 70,000 crore rupee irrigation scam. Do not try and undermine, please.
We are not undermining.
Do not undermine do not undermine and believe. Do not undermine and believe. Do not believe. So I don't want to shout.
Minister had the guts to step out and say that you can conduct any inquiry you want to against me.
You see, Mr. Awad.
He had the guts to step out from the power.
You see, Mr.
Why doesn't Mr. Tatkare resign?
Can I please? You see, Mr.
The allegations, the wild allegations were against Mr. Ajit Pawar.
Against Mr. Tatkare too.
Mr. Jitendra Awad, allow me please, because beyond the point of, I'm just making a simple point tonight. Please understand, do not believe, this country, nobody will believe that you can put a shroud over big corruption cases by questioning allegedly smaller charges against other people. Nobody. It is my job, certainly to ask, it is my job to ask Anjali and to ask Mayank Gandhi, and if required I'll ask Shazia, I'll ask anyone whether or not the allegations against them are right or wrong, and they have a right to defend themselves. But at the same time, do not believe, sir, that you can put a shroud over bigger corruption charges by raising individual charges.
Everybody
you can't do that.
Has the right to defend himself.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You can't put a shroud over things. You know, it's not. This is not a strategy.
No, nobody.
Can you, Mr. Subramanian Swamy? I'm asking you tonight.
To defend himself.
I'm asking Subramanian Swamy tonight.
Public servants.
Can you put a shroud?
They're public officials. They're public functionaries, unlike us.
Yeah. Can you put a shroud? Can you put a shroud over bigger charges by asking questions over individuals? These individuals will be held into account, because your moral standing has to be this high if you have to ask questions on others.
Which is why
but can you put a shroud? Subramanian Swamy, please. Irrespective of, and you said some things about Anjali Damania. She is here now. Maybe you can say that directly to her. Yes, sir.
Well, it has been long held by the Supreme Court that the motive of a person or his own background is immaterial when a charge of corruption is made. The issue is not that. The issue is that we were, when we started this 2G thing long before Anna Hazare came on the scene, we were faced with basic cynicism in the public.
Yes.
That nothing will happen. This is all hot air and people just make statements and then move on.
Yep.
But we wanted to show that the system could deliver.
Yep.
And that's why we went to court and got some results which generated this whole atmosphere where people begin to think that corruption could be fought. Now what's happening today is that if you flit from charge to charge and do nothing, we'll be back to the same pessimism, and that's exactly what the corrupt people want. They want to say everybody is corrupt, and nothing will happen. This is the way of life. That's what I'm sorry to say that this Team Kejriwal has done in these last few days. They have completely muddied the waters of the fight in corruption. They have lost focus completely, and today we are in a situation where we have to go back and start telling people that no, corruption can be fought.
No, one sec. What has Anjali done wrong? What is Anjali's fault? What is your point on Anjali? I want it directly put tonight from you to her so she gets a chance to respond. Yes.
No, I have nothing against her. I don't even know. I don't know her at all.
Right?
I do not know her, so this question is not that I'm making a charge against her at all.
Yes, Mr.
I'm only saying this whole business of hit and run, where you just make charges and move on, and then they make counter charges, and then everybody gets confused.
Right. Okay.
We need focus, and the focus can only be done today when the government of the day is thoroughly corrupt. The only way is by going to court, or don't make charges.
But focus is not the only preserve of political parties. Anjali, hit and run. Yes, Mr. Jethmalani, you seem surprised by something Dr. Swamy said. You were saying something to Dr. Swamy. What were you saying to him?
Okay. No, I was just saying that Dr. Swamy was alleging something in the business standard, that came out against Mrs. Damania's husband. Now that she's here, I think in fairness to her, she should clear up, because an innuendo was made on the basis of a business standard article, which I admit I didn't read, because I read the Times of India and the Eco Times. And also father-in-law, but you now didn't.
You're too busy defending. You're too busy defending crooks in the court. You see.
Right now he's defending the truth.
I'll ignore that personal. I'll ignore the personal allegation.
Okay, gentlemen, eventually on the news hour tonight.
There's no personal allegation.
One sec.
When you go to court, there's nothing personal.
I want to say something here. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm always happy that we have a straightforward debate. I do genuinely believe, however, that the time has come in this country for the top leaders of India against corruption, Congress, BJP, to open themselves for a top-level debate. I have said this before. I think I'm going to say this to Arvind Kejriwal when I talk to him on the other side tonight. The time has come for an open debate on issues, not just charges, on issues facing the nation, not only corruption, but all issues. I thank you, Anjali. I thank you very much, Mayank, for having the fortitude to come and face those questions. I thank you, Shazia. I thank you, Jitendra Awad. Subramanian Swamy, always a pleasure. And Mahesh Jethmalani, I don't think you read the same newspapers. Maybe all of you can, choose your respective newspapers and then decide what the line of questioning should be. But it's a pleasure talking to both of you tonight. Thank you very much for joining me on News Hour Debate number 1. Thank you.